Welcome to Design TV. I'm Mary Jo Bowling, Homes Editor at LUXE Interiors and Design. Today, we're going to be talking about indoor-outdoor living. Joining me are two experts on the concept, Kristen Forgione, designer and founder of Thelifestyle Company, and Tyler Schettler of Sierra Pacific Windows. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Mary Jo.
Now, indoor-outdoor living is a hot topic in the design world, and I'm wondering, what does that concept mean to each of you?
To me, indoor-outdoor living is obviously bringing the outdoors into your indoor space, opening up your walls to blend those two spaces, as well as using larger windows to frame some of the views that the homes we work on have, mountain views, desert views, things like that.
Oh, yeah, sounds great. Kristen, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a hard one to follow, but I totally agree. I think indoor outdoor living now is as much a part of a lifestyle and how you actually live in your home as it is an architectural component. So for Tyler and how we can use windows and doors, that helps us set the stage, of course, for the future livability of the home. I love to bring materials and finishes that are in the inside, outside, and then also materials and finishes that are on the outside in the inside. So I think it's a seamless transition between the days that you can spend at home and those cold winter nights and warm summer days.
Now, I know that you have built and remodeled many homes, including your own. And how specifically have you incorporated that concept into your own residence?
Yeah, that's a great question. I am based in Arizona and I love Arizona so much for so many reasons. It is hot as heck here sometimes. And so I need sustainability in product and selection that when it is really hot here, I can still see outside and I can still feel the outdoors without literally feeling the outdoors because it's 120 here. And then during the winter months, or of course, spring and fall, and we kind of have two seasons in Arizona, summer and everything else. I need to be able to have ease of transition and going outside. I want my windows and doors and livability of indoor outdoor living to paint a picture and help me kind of frame the beauty that is outside, feel the temperature, kind of draw me in and out and have fluidity between the spaces. So in my own personal residences, I really try to make sure that I'm making choice decisions that are timeless and that will allow us to easily move from inside to outside.
Oh, you're making me want to visit Arizona, Kristen.
It's a great place.
Now, Tyler, in your role, you've had the opportunity to work on many exciting projects with architects and designers all over the country. What are some of the most successful indoor-outdoor projects that you've ever seen?
Quite a few that we've worked on, specifically here in Arizona, where we use large pocketing, stacking doors, as well as bifold doors to help bring that interior to the exterior, and vice versa. One in particular that comes to mind we worked on with Kristen was our 64th Street project. We actually incorporated a bifold door opposite the entry door to make that transition from through the house straight to the backyard, as well as a large corner pocketing door system in the living room area.
Oh, so lovely.
Now, for people who are watching this and maybe they're not familiar with the definitions of these things, can you quickly explain the difference between bifold and pocket and corner bifold? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You bet. So our bifold door is an accordion style that will stack to one side or the other. We can split it in the center and stack either direction. The pocket door is like a typical sliding door, except that all of the panels will move and they will hide themselves into a pocket in the wall. The corner system just means that we're stacking in two different directions to open up that corner of the space.
Gotcha. So when you have this in place, and it sounds like you're living with it every day, Kristen, how do you make the flow between the interior and the outside absolutely smooth, seamless? Kristen, what are your ideas for that?
Yeah, I think it can be done with hardscape or it can be done with furniture or both, right? That's how I typically want to do it. Is I want to see some in the hardscape that helps set the frame for the transition of the eye. And then I also want to see it in furniture. So some of the most user-friendly ways to do it is with your flooring material. You can lay limestone, a natural stone, in, let's say, your dining room that is separated by your beautiful Sierra Pacific door or window. And then you can also lay that limestone outside on your patio and have the ease of transition between the two spaces, but unite them with the same floor covering. Same is true in furniture. If I've got a beautiful bifold door that is flanking my living space, and then outside, I'd probably place a dining table there so that I don't have a repeat of kind of functionality. I have two very clear, distinct areas to either lounge and relax or eat and enjoy the outside right next to each other so that I can select what I would like to do with my lovely time.
And I was looking at your website and your blog, and you're known for what you call organic desert living. And I'm wondering how that lends itself to this whole indoor outdoor living concept.
Yeah, organic desert living was truly created because we were in a time of modern farmhouse. My firm has been around for 10 years. We'll have our 10-year anniversary here this year, which is a big one and something to celebrate. And when we first started, I was just so sick of trying to explain what my style was. And I think at that time, modern farmhouse was what everyone called everything black and white and wood. And that's not true at all. Modern farmhouse is a very distinct style that is wonderful and now heavily saturated. But I needed another set of words that explained my dedication to the desert and neutral tones and effortlessness and timelessness and sustainability and all the things that all the ways that I like to live without it just naturally being called modern farmhouse because it was high contrast and had natural elements. So I honestly said it out loud one day, organic desert living, and it just stuck and became kind of an umbrella for our brand. And then we took it further and worked it into our marketing. And now it's truly our tagline. It's trademarked. It's who we are. And in our design aesthetic, it is something that grounds us and keeps us in that very distinct style of neutral tones and bringing the indoors and the outdoors, right? I think they share focus a lot in our work. Both in and out. It's definitely not a one-way street. And I think the heat here, as I mentioned previously, is really one of those things that requires, yes, we're swimming in a pool, but we're dying. It's so hot. So we have to figure out a way to be able to still feel the outdoors without physically being outdoors all the time, unless you're in a pool.
Oh, got it. Well, happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Tyler, when we think about these things that you're telling us about, very large doors, for example, these are concepts that are usually considered very modern. And I'm wondering if these can be integrated in any architectural style.
Absolutely. We've used them in several architectural styles over the years. A lot of that is going to come down to designers like Kristen being able to frame out that window or that door to make sure that it fits with the architectural, the style that the client is going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both interior and exterior, right? So the tradition of the framing and molding and how, as Tyler said, how we frame it out interior, but then also how we're working with the structural and architectural components of the window and the frame, and everything from the grill style to the color of the window should all be considered on the exterior as well. So I think, I tend to look at a window on the front and the back, and they can have very distinct styles and they don't always have to match either.
Interesting. Now, Tyler, I'm thinking about what you were describing when we were talking a little bit earlier, and all the different options. There's so many to choose from. How do you decide whether you're going to use a bifold or a pocket door? How do you make that decision?
One of the biggest things is going to be determined by the size, the space that you're trying to open up. The pocket doors, the stacking door systems can open up much larger than the bifold systems. On the other side, though, the bifold doors will actually give you the largest opening in the space that you have, meaning that when you stack the pocket door system, you're going to lose some of that space to the pocket or to the panels that are stacked over one another. Where with the bifold door, because they accordion on top of one another, you end up with a little bit larger space overall. You can kind of maximize that total opening.
Oh, interesting. And Kristen, do you have any guidance for selecting the product that you want to use to make a seamless indoor-outdoor situation?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, when I'm looking for that wide opening, as we're talking about, I'm specifically deciding whether that opening should have architectural integrity to it. And to Tyler's point, if you will, about our 64th build, because the bifold door was right opposite the entry, which was a double Dutch door moment, I needed to make sure that that had architectural integrity, right? I wanted to see the grill pattern. I wanted it to draw me in. I wanted it to feel like a steel window, if you will, or an artisan piece, something that we built the home around. And the Sierra Pacific door that we selected in the bifold just did that so perfectly. And then kind of on the contrary, when we were framing for the great room, that space was much wider. It was just a bigger room, right? I didn't need to make sure that the window had a lot of architectural integrity and that the window was doing the talking, or the door, if you will. And so I like to make the decision based on how much do I need to see in the door or window, and where is it going? How big is the room? Because that will help me determine which product to use.
Oh, those are helpful guidelines. We've been talking about the heat of Arizona, but Tyler, I wonder, what about snow country? What about places where it gets colder? Can you apply this concept to all kinds of climates?
It's been a challenge in the past, but over the past few years, we've developed window and door products that have a weather rating that will allow you to use these larger door systems in those colder climates. The big thing is you want to make sure that you have a product that has a weather rating built into it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I always like to look to the future, and I'm wondering what you forecast as the next level of indoor-outdoor living. Kristen, why don't we start with you?
Ooh, that is such a good question. I think, you know what's interesting? We are seeing a lot of tradition come back. Like, we went on this like very modern, contemporary, really clean lines. You're like, I don't really want to see a lot of that. I want to see all glass, right? Lots of glass. And we're seeing a lot more. And I think from the pandemic, of course, a lot more compartmentalization, big word, in floor plans, right? Like, these huge great room concepts are changing a little bit because people want more confined, defined areas. And I think we're going to see that in building products too, specifically in windows. We're going to see a resurge in a smaller window that has a lot of detail, that really serves a purpose, that is very thoughtful. A lot more detailing in kind of framing, I think, a lot more large footprints, but made with smaller windows that are maybe milled together. I still think you're going to have the opportunity, of course, for the big bifold or pocket doors where we've got large openings. But I definitely think we're going to start seeing more of kind of that artisan look, where before we really took a hard turn into very modern, very clean, lots of glass type of stuff.
Interesting. And Tyler, what about you? What's ahead for your company in the future?
We are constantly being pushed by architects to make larger and larger systems, whether that is individual windows or individual doors, to push that scale. Or, to Kristen's point, taking smaller windows and building them together to make a single opening. That's where I see us going in the future.
I'm ready for it, Tyler. I'm ready.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, Kristen and Tyler, for sharing your thoughts. And I'm wishing everyone the opportunity to make the most of nature, inside and out. I'm Mary Jo Bowling. Thanks for joining us.